There are literally just 2 months left in the year, and it's about time we took a look back at the year so far. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about goals, reassessing our goals, and making sure we finish off the year strong. I've done a lot of videos in the past talking about my goals or how to achieve goals and how to work on them and reevaluating my goals. My goals are similar to last year in a lot of ways because the things I focus on or have been focusing on for the last 2 to 3 years has been stuff that is ongoing and requires consistent effort. At the end of the year, we feel like we're in vacation mode. A lot of people, because of like the colder weather, the colder months, and then Christmas coming around the corner, a lot of people are in the holiday spirit. While you can do that, it's also a good idea to try to continue to focus on your goals, especially if there's any goals you've been lacking or the progress has not been exactly where you wanted it to be, in order to finish off the year strong. I thought it would be a good idea to share some of my goals and my progress because I feel like these are categories and things that a lot of people are always trying to work on. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration and motivation to continue to focus on your goals, maybe not totally forget about them. So one big thing that I don't think I've talked too much on my channel is the fact that I've been trying to focus on my screen time and improve my screen time. And this is something that I realized was an issue about 1.5 years ago. I think I would try to make changes, but I don't think I was making as much progress, or I would just go back to my old ways and sometimes even rebound so badly that it was worse than where I had left off. I'm definitely going to be making a video about my screen time and how I've improved it or not improved it, and you can look out for that in probably next week's video. So subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss that video. My biggest thing with screen time is the fact that I was not using the time wisely. It was just very much mindless scrolling, so I tried to switch it out with things that are more informative, educational, or something that I'm interested in. If you guys have noticed, I've been posting a lot of videos with like reviews for Pakistani dramas because I've just suddenly been open to the world of Pakistani dramas. I've been enjoying them. I know K-dramas are supposed to be really good, but I just can't get into them in the same way. So for now, I've been watching a lot of Pakistani dramas. I've been doing it a little bit more strategically so that I'm wasting less time, and it's allowed me to spend less time just scrolling and watching like shorts, reels, and TikToks. The plan is, though, I have 2 more months. I want to make a pretty drastic change, and I've made some changes and I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor already, I would say. So one thing that I've done is I've actually deleted the most distracting app for me, which was TikTok. And I never thought I would do that, but it has made a huge difference, and I'll share again in my next video with my progress. It's been amazing. It's done like wonders for my life in the sense of like every other aspect, every other goal has benefited from the fact that I have decided to delete just that one app, and more to come, let's just say. Second thing that I've always been trying to work on is exercise. I have talked about this for years and I've always felt like I was making a lot of progress, but really I was starting from like 0, so going from 0 to 1 is like a huge difference. The thing that I was struggling with a lot with exercise was consistency, and with a lot of these different things or different areas that I'm trying to work on, it requires a lot of consistency and discipline, and I was lacking in both areas. That said, like I mentioned in one of my videos that I'll post here or here, I have made such a huge improvement in my activity level. I'm obviously not doing anything crazy, which you'll see in that video, but I've done so much more exercise just for that 2-month period compared to like the last like 3 years, I want to say. It was amazing to see. I felt stronger. I felt like I could take on the world a little bit, and I think that also helped me get back into creating videos because I really like to do this. That said, unfortunately, I had a little bit of a hiccup where for the last like month, just under a month or so, I have not been as active because I was traveling a little bit, and then I was just so busy with work and exhausted from work that I was not able to make time. And the thing I've been trying to do and work on is you want to be able to make time for the things you want to do, but it needs to be in an appropriate time. I found that for me, it's easier to work out or try to get exercise earlier in the day rather than towards the end of the day. I have a lot less motivation, and so even when I do have time during the end of the day and I can, you know, get some steps in or do something exercise related, I just can't get myself to do it because it just feels like that's too draining for me at that time. And my schedule and my just life has been really out of balance lately, so I have not been able to give exercise the time that it deserves and it needs, and it's still very much a priority. And I really want to see my steps go back up. I really want to see and feel myself get stronger. So again, there's definitely room for improvement there. The next goal that I've had, that I've loosely talked about, it's not like a hard and fast thing, but when it comes to food, I've always wanted to eat a little bit better. And what I mean by that is eat a little bit healthier. By healthier, I mean taking out things from my diet that are not very good for me and don't make me feel good, and also negate the progress I make when it comes to my exercise, and add in a few healthier options. So a little bit more fruit, a little bit more vegetables. And while I have made a lot of improvements there, I also make way more different types of foods, I think. I'm not sure about that actually, but I do think I make more food at home, try new things more often. One thing that I mentioned in probably 2 or 3 years ago when I was making a goal setting video was that I wanted to try to make a new dish every week if I could, and that would make me extremely happy. I don't think I've done it every single week, but every so often I will make something new, something different. And the thing I like to do is I like to then practice that thing. So either I'll make a small quantity and I'll just keep making it every day or every other day or as often as I can tolerate. That's been really exciting for me. However, again, because I was really busy the last 1 month, I would say, and I would say there was at least 2 months out of the year so far where I was spending a lot of time getting takeout and not eating meals from home that I cooked myself. And so I want to work on that because I just feel better. I actually do feel better. I can feel it. Whereas when you're younger, you're like, yeah, I want to eat healthier, or at least that's how I was. And I couldn't really tell a difference. My body couldn't tell a difference, or my mind couldn't assess that there was a difference. But now I do feel a difference. Oh, we do have food at home and it does actually taste better. Oh, and the last thing that I've been struggling with a little bit is the fact that I need to do a better job at managing my inventory, because there have been a couple of times where food has gone bad and I can definitely do better there. The last category that I've been trying to work on is in a broad sense, self-care, taking care of myself. I've made a couple of videos recently about me sharing kind of things I've learned in my 20s, because I'm now in my 30s. Woohoo! I think the thing that I struggle with is the fact that I know these lessons, I understand these lessons, but I still have to sometimes relearn them, because there's this element of constantly giving other people the benefit of the doubt and just always filling in the gaps for other people so that they can feel so that I can feel like they're even better than they actually are. And I will know that, okay, this person is this good, but I will still want to believe that they're this good, but really they're just this good. And then reality sets in at some point and you're like, oh, they're actually just this good, but you think that they're this good. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me in a lot of ways. I just want to do a better job with making friends, but also maintaining friendship, because I'm in my 30s, I'm a little bit older. I feel like I'm physically far away from so many people that I would like to be closer to. And while that is also a good thing in some ways, I feel like I've also suffered in other ways. I think I do like to engage with people. The piece of having structure in your day and knowing exactly what's going to go on and not having too much variation, or you having full control of the variation in your days, in your weeks, in your months is so nice. So I'm a little iffy on that, but yes, that's where I'm at with my goals. And now, in order to finish off the year strong, I would like to focus on certain things for these last 2 months. Now, so for the first category, which was adjusting my screen time, like I mentioned, I want to focus on being very selective with the type of stuff that I engage with. And I'm really trying to focus on the screen time when it comes to my phone, because it was ridiculous. I will probably share it in that video that's gonna come out next week. It was ridiculous. The screen time was ridiculous. And the thing that I think will help me the most is the fact that if I can adjust my screen time, if I can stop just mindlessly scrolling just a little bit, it will also affect all of my other goals, because I'll have more time and I'll be more alert in a lot of ways so I can focus on those other things. The biggest thing I've done is definitely deleting the TikTok app, and the biggest thing I can do in these last 2 months is make sure I do not go back onto the app or like reinstall it onto my phone. And I also don't try to replace any of the other apps that have short form content as my new TikTok app. You get what I mean? Like I don't want to start using Instagram in that same way or YouTube in that same way. So if I can continue to maintain that, I think I'll be really happy by the end of the year with my progress. Second category, which was Salah, and basically like spirituality and religion and everything to do with Islam. The thing that I think I struggle with the most is timing and remembering to pray Salah on time. And I think a huge part of that is just not being alert enough, and so managing my screen time will help me build on my Salah, inshallah. And then also like fostering the willpower to pray and always remember to be praying and being excited about it. This category basically also encapsulates everything related to Islam and my relationship with the religion. I think that for the last 2 months, I want to try to engage in other forms of ibadat because there's not that much time left until Ramadan, and I want to be more prepared this year than previous years. So I want to be working on like, I literally want to create like a proper official printed out, laminated if I can, list of like duas or things I want to do so that I can have a really prosperous, good, inshallah, Ramadan next year, because I would like to make the most of that, because I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? So that also includes trying to make sure that I'm reading the Quran more often. And like I have a translated version of the Quran, and I had started reading it like almost daily, and then I kind of stopped, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Reading is a whole other category that I didn't get to in this video, but we're gonna be focusing probably next year on that. But when it comes to reading the Quran or the translation of the Quran, I really want to try to engage in that more because I feel like I would benefit a lot. When it comes to food, I want to try to minimize, again, like how many times I'm eating out. I really think I would benefit so much if I could just do a better job of not being tempted. I think I'm just very easily tempted lately. I just want to eat out. It's like a lot, but if I can just minimize it, because also like it's just like way too expensive. Like I went out the other day and I was like, wow. So the easiest way to curb all of that is to first of all make sure that I meal prep more often. And like I've mentioned in other videos, I do like to meal prep, but if I meal prep too much, it can be a little bit like, it's not as fun. And I do enjoy cooking. I don't want to meal prep so much that I'm like cooking once a week. Like I don't like that. I like to cook more often, but it's really hard sometimes because sometimes my schedule is really off. However, to work around that, I think honestly, everything comes down to planning and pre-planning. Meal prepping needs its own prepping. So I need to anticipate when I'm going to be busier in the week and meal prep more then. And when I have more free time and I want to cook, I can meal prep less, so I have more options or more time to cook more. When it comes to self-care and planning for the rest of the year, I think it's really simple. There's 2 categories or 2 levels of this. One is relationships with others and protecting my peace, I guess. The first aspect would be to try to continue to reach out to people and engage with the people that do want to engage with you, and be more like excited about it, because I tend to shy away. Even when there are opportunities to hang out with people, I really shy away, or I somehow find reasons where I'm not able to participate. I need to kind of tone that down and just embrace it more often. And the second thing would be to just be okay with being alone, because I think even though I like to be alone, I like the time I have for myself, I think subconsciously I'm like constantly worried about the future. I'm like, when I'm 80 years old, I need to make sure I have enough like established relationships that I can like be comforted. But it's like, how do I know I'm gonna live until that age? And like, it's okay, like things take time, okay? You have like 50-60 years until then, like you're okay. So that's where I'm at when it comes to my goals and my progress so far this year. I highly encourage you to try to continue to focus on your goals and your progress so far. Don't let it slide. And I know it's really easy to want to just chill out for the rest of the year, but if you continue to work on your goals towards the end of the year, you're gonna find yourself in a much better position in the following year when it comes to trying to figure out what your new goals are. Because if you've given yourself the full 12 months to work on the year or on your goals, then you'll be ahead 2 months, because a lot of people probably slow down towards the last 2 to 3 months of the year anyway. And while it can be really tempting to kind of just take a backseat and relax for the last 2 years or 2 months, I'd recommend trying to just continue to focus on your goals and try to be just as excited as you were at the start of the year, because that'll put you ahead for the following year, especially if you're planning for goals or trying to work on things that require you to continuously work on them. You can't just exercise for 1 full year and then assume that you're going to continue to maintain your results for the rest of your life. These are things that you need to work on. Same with Salah, same with, you know, your relationship with food and relationships in general. All of these things require consistency and continual effort. And so that's why I think it's a good idea to continue to put in the effort. Maybe you don't need to give, you know, 110%, you don't need to give 100%, maybe even just 80% is fine. Whatever is okay or works for you. So those are the goals that I'm going to try to continue to work on towards the end of the year. Let me know what you guys are working on, and if you have started already working on your goals for the following year, because that's always a good idea as well. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.